Right, what I'm going to show you now is just the final little bit of setup at the end of the installation to make sure the site is created as you would like it before you start worrying about what it looks like and making extra posts and pages, etc. So if you didn't log in from the button at the end of the install, you're going to need to log in now and any subsequent time you want to log in. The way to log in is always go to the domain name, which is creatingvibranthealth.com. Ignore all this, I know it's showing me this shortcut. Then you slash, you put the directory that we created the WordPress programs in, which is WP slash, and then you have to put WP admin. So now you can kind of see why I changed my folder name from WordPress to WP, just because every time you log in I didn't want to have to type out WordPress in full. So basically your domain name slash the directory folder name you chose to install WordPress in, which in our case is WP, slash WP-admin. So we enter that, and it takes us to a login screen for WordPress. So put the username and your password and click on the login button. So welcome to WordPress. You can see there's one post already created, one page, one comment. WordPress basically creates a default post and page for you so that there's something to see when you first log in. Now basically this site is up and running. We can visit the site, but what you will see is that the site is displaying at your domain name but in the folder WP. And if you try to look purely at your domain name, it basically says this doesn't exist. So what we have to do is make a few tweaks so that when you type in your domain name, you get to see this front screen, even though we've got the blog and all its programs in a separate folder called WP. So let's go back to the dashboard, and we're going to do settings, general. So there's a couple of things here. The site title we gave when we did the install. A tagline, that's a default WordPress one. Well, this is not going to be just another WordPress site. So I'm going to write something. I'm sure this is not what my client is going to want, but she can change this anytime she wants. But I'm just going to put something now. So creating vibrant health is not an impossible dream. There we go. So the WordPress address is the domain name with our WordPress folder on the end, but our site address we want to be just the domain name. And you can see there's some a comment about that here and some instructions. And basically the instructions are they cover a couple of different scenarios, but the scenario we have is we already installed WordPress in its own directory, so we can ignore that first option, and we are already using a pre-existing subdirectory that we installed WordPress. And so what we need to do is change the site address to just the domain name. That's what I said we were going to do, and we'll save the changes, which I haven't done yet. And then there's two things that are going to be required. We've got to copy the index.php file, and if it exists, the .ht access, but it might not be there. And we need to move this file called wp-config.php. So two different things. One's copying and one is moving. And there's a little bit of editing to be done in one of the files, and so we're going to need to use our FTP program to transfer these new/change files, and a little bit of editing which I'm just going to do in Notepad, or you might have some alternative text editor. So let's go to the FTP software first so that we can see these two files, and I'm going to copy them down to my computer. Then I'm going to make my changes on my computer, and then we'll use the FTP program to transfer them back up again. So here's my FileZilla. Let's call up the site Vibrant Health. I'm just going to go into Site Manager and set a setting which we didn't set the first time, and I want to explain what that is. And that's here under the Advanced tab. There was Use Synchronized Browsing, and I'm going to click that now. And then hit Connect. So it's going to reconnect with these new settings. So abort the previous one and connect with the new settings. And I want to show you what that does. Now, if we double click on our local site into the folder WP, what happens is on the remote site the directory changes as well. If we don't have that synchronized clicking ticked, what will happen is we can drill down on our local computer, and if we select a file to upload, it will upload into whatever file folder you have left on the remote site, which is not necessarily the corresponding position. Okay, so I drill down into WP, and in fact what I want to do is we're going to do two things. We're going to download the index file that's in WP just to make sure that we have the same version on our computer, and in fact I'm pretty sure it's the same, but we will do override anyway. And the other file that the instructions referred to was the wp-config.php file, and I'm going to download that, which doesn't exist on our computer. So now I've got the two files. In fact, if you remember, we had to copy index but move wp-config. So in fact, we are going to want to delete it from the WP directory, because I'm going to move it on my computer to the Vibrant Health folder, and then we will upload it from there. So in fact, I'm going to, on the remote site, delete the file. So don't try and access your website at this point, because we've basically screwed it up. And then we will sort it out and re-upload. So I'm going to now quickly go to Windows Explorer. We'll go to My Webs in my Vibrant Health folder. I'll just view this as details so we can see the file. So I have got my WP config file in the WP folder, and it said for that we wanted to move it to the root, so I'm going to copy it, cut it rather, from WP, go back to the root, which is just Vibrant Health, and paste it in. So we have that now in the right place. I'm going to go back down into WP, and it says we are going to copy the index file. So for that, I'm going to copy, not cut, copy, go back to the root, and we're going to paste it in. And then what the instructions said is we had to edit the index file, and I'm going to quickly go back to the instructions so you can see that. So we've copied the index file, and now we are going to edit it. So we have to open up the index file in a text editor. And as I say, if you haven't got a special one, you can find Notepad on your computer and use that. And there is a line that will be in the file that says require blah blah blah, and we are going to change that to require with basically where it says WordPress there, we're going to replace that with our folder name, which is WP. So we're basically going to add a WP slash after the first slash that's in that folder. So we can go back to our index file and open it with Notepad. You can do that here. You can also edit within the FTP program as well. So if we double click on the two dots, we're going up a folder, we can see our index file there. Right mouse click it, choose edit, and you can see that it's come up, and here we had to put WP and another slash. Save it. And do we want to upload it? Yes. And we also want to upload the WP config. So let's right click that, click upload. So we've done step 6. Now it says log on to your site, and hopefully we will find that if we just put our domain name, we will see the blog. So what we'll do is remove that WP and the backslash, and we need to save it. Now let's visit the site, and you can see we have got our WordPress site visible with just the domain name. We forgot to change the tagline and say that creating vibrant health is not an impossible dream. Save. So we can set some time zone settings. We can choose some date formats. I'm going to pick the European format and click save again. So basically, if we view the site now, we should see our new tagline. Okay, so our blog is up and running. We would now change posts and change new pages and pick a theme, do all the stuff you can do to customize WordPress, and those, I'm afraid, are a whole nother set of videos, but there's plenty of help out there on the web if you go searching with YouTube or whatever, people showing you how to change themes, etc. So that's it for now. You have created your first WordPress blog on the web.